We're live now. So good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. My name is Gladys Ojelade. I lead the student success team at CodeNest Africa, and we just thought of something that we can do that will make people and that will inform people out there, that will make people know about what is actually going on in the tech industry. And we came up with the Tech Plus Talk series. So basically, the Tech Plus Talk series is where we invite people from different tech industries and companies all around the world, and we just let them share their experiences with people, let them motivate people that are probably just starting their career in tech, probably that people that are already in tech, people that are planning to change careers. You understand? And today's webinar is going to be focused on women. And the issue about women in tech is that it's not only women in tech that are going to solve this issue. We also need the men. We need all hands to be on tech, because it's the 21st century and the impact of women in any industry cannot be overemphasized. So I have an amazing speaker here with me. Her name is Feyisewa Salami. She is a software engineer from Verify Me Nigeria. And I don't know, anytime I see women in tech, I'm always inspired. I remember our last webinar too, we had a lot of women in attendance, and that shows that the work has actually started. But we don't stop there, we continue the good work. So hello Feyisewa, can you just say hi to everybody and just introduce yourself, ma?
Hello everyone, can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Awesome. Hi everyone. My name is Salami Feyisewa. I'm a software developer at Verify Me Nigeria. Basically, right now I'm more into the back-end services, so I could say more of a back-end engineer. I actually studied computer science from Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. Started programming some years back. Yeah. So, hello everyone once again. It's nice to be here.
Sure. Thank you so much, Feyisewa, for taking our time to honor our invitation. Okay, I'll just start from the beginning. Like you said, you studied computer science, so I'll say that you probably already had an idea of what to do from secondary school. So that's not something that every girl out there has the privilege of knowing that, okay, as a woman, I can also go into computer science. I'm sure that's in your class, because I have a younger brother that is in computer science, and they have just maybe 5 women in the class, and they have like maybe 30 something guys in the department. So I want to know what actually spurred your interest into computer science.
Okay. Like I said, so for me, actually, secondary school, I actually went to a girls' only school. Yeah, for my secondary school. So, but I wanted to become a medical doctor, not a computer scientist. I didn't even have an idea of what it entailed, right? So it so happened that I didn't get a cut-off mark for medicine, so but I got in for computer science. So I was like, okay, let me just go instead of staying at home, and then I was going to write JAMB again. But when I started the course, right, I found out that it's actually quite interesting. I really, really picked an interest up in it, and then that was how I continued in that. And like you said, very few females in the department. Was more of the guys that was there. So, but even when I started studying the course, I knew, because of studying the course, I knew there were different aspects. But in the university, it's not like you get open to the different areas immediately. It was more of the basics. I started out with a language called C++, Q basic, depending. Yeah, so but coming back, most of my classmates at that time so were already exposed. So few.
Okay, can anyone still hear me?
No, we can hear you.
Okay,
Breaking.
but we can't hear the speaker, right? Hello, Feyisewa.
Yeah, sorry, apologies. It's raining a bit here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, the weather is really affecting the network. So just maybe backtrack maybe the last 30 seconds so that we can just continue enjoying.
Okay. Yeah, so I said I wanted to focus into networking, which is another area, but I was like, I can't be writing these codes because it wasn't even looking so interesting as at the initial beginning. But then I was like, okay, let me give it a try and let me really see what it did entail. So I started out with PHP 5, and then from there I had an idea of HTML, CSS. But I can't lie, it wasn't so. I would say the journey has been so rosy because I didn't really have somebody that could guide me as to, okay, this is how to go about it. I remember days whereby I ran into errors and I'm on that error for 3 days. As at those point, I actually felt like this thing is not really for me, right? And I didn't really see people, especially women. Let me use that word. A lot of my fellow females were not into it at all. So I didn't really see that on women's support, and even the guys, because we're still in school, wasn't so much. But for me, it was more of determination, and because okay, so I was like, I was going to write my final year project, and I was like, why will I be a computer science student and have to outsource my project out? So that was what really, really spurred me to understand a programming language, because I was like, no, I don't want to outsource it. I'd rather collect the money from my parents and spend it on myself than giving it to somebody else. So yes, so that was when I picked it up and I'm like, you this thing, I'm gonna get you. And so I actually worked on an inventory management system for my final year project then in school, and I made this on PHP 5. So that was where I got the whole programming knowledge basis. Yeah, so that was the initial starting point.
All right. That's actually an amazing. So it's because of your parents' money that you wanted to spend that that motivated you to actually sit with software engineering. But I
Yes,
mean,
no.
it's something that must motivate us now. Um,
Exactly.
So I remember you made mention of the fact that you wish you had a role model or a sort of mentor to hold your hands and say that okay, this is how you should go about it. And we are definitely going to come back to that. It's one of the things we want to discuss today. Um, so my next question is going to be how many years have you been in the software industry? How many years?
Like, so I've been in software industries professionally for 4 years now.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
so can you just take us through your career experience? Did you get a job or internship in school? How are you able to move into the labor market as a software engineer?
Thanks. So it so happened that after I graduated in school, before going to go and serve, right? You actually get to have some months before going to serve. So I was so adamant that I have to get something. Like I can't just sit at home, considering that I know that I don't really know this. I like, how am I going to feed when I'm done serving? Where's the future? Am I going to sell bags? You know, that kind of a thing. So I reached out to quite a number of people that, oh, please, even if it's just to intern somewhere. Yeah. So my first major this was at a company called Labs and Ware. It was a very, very small startup, but for me, it was about the knowledge, what I could get at that time. You know, the salary was so small, but it didn't really matter to me. So yeah, I would say that was my first professional, yes, work. So I started out with I learned Laravel and a bit of Angular while I was there, and then a few months later I went to serve. But thankfully I applied for a scholarship with Udacity. So I just saw it online. Yeah, one while I was also at that company that Google, and in partnership with Andela and Udacity, was doing a scholarship for people in Africa. It wasn't even just Nigeria, Ghana, some countries like that. So I applied, like, okay, let's see what is going to. So I realized there was a free paid scholarship on Udacity. So they had like a course for almost like a whole year. So that was why I really learned JavaScript as at that time. So, but while serving, I was like, I didn't want to finish, right? Since I already made up my mind, okay, I'm going to be a programmer, a software developer. I didn't want to finish and I'll start looking around for jobs. So my main aim while serving was to get better, one, and two. Before the end of service, I must get a job. So as at the 7th month into my service year, I started applying out to different companies. I didn't care how it was going to go. I had quite a lot of rejection because my experience level was quite low, very low. Yeah. But I kept on applying, and then into my ninth month of service, luckily for me, I got a major interview with a software business solution consult, which I went for. When I got there, I was given task as usual, and then I scaled through the interview, and they were so like, wow, a woman, right? And all that. So so that was into my ninth month of service. I actually got a job as a mid stack developer. So I was making use of Node.js, Angular as a major programming language for me. Then initially joining, I was like the only female in the back end department then. So it was another experience on another level, being the only female amongst quite a number of men. So from there I then moved on to Chaka, where I was programming for them in Java and also Angular. And then from Chaka, I moved on to Verify Me Nigeria, which is where I currently am as a backend engineer. So that's been the journey so far.
Okay, that's really amazing. I'm sure that by now you're already used to being maybe the only woman in the room, or just seeing one or two women. And
Exactly.
that's something we have to really, really address, because there's something about looking around your shoulder, probably in the front or behind you, and seeing another woman there. And that it's one of the things we are going to talk about. Okay, now basically we want to discuss, the solution to the underrepresented level of women in the tech industry. But I mean, there's no point talking about solutions when we don't actually first of all address the problem. Okay, so as a software engineer, personally, before we now generalize to all women in the tech industry, especially here in Africa, where do you think the problem starts from? If you ask me, I was raised in a very conservative environment where they believe that, as a woman, don't go into science, or when women have money, they don't shake you. Honestly, you understand what I'm trying to say? Or personally, what it is for you? Where's the starting point of the problem?
So I think this problem starts from the family, right? Like you said, there's this conservative view, right, that this is what men tend to do. Just like you see engineering, it's the men, You see nursing, food science, they'll say, oh, it's women. Why? So I think it actually starts from the family. So I'll use myself as an example, and it starts from not just, I'll say more of secondary school level. Because when you're in secondary school, that is where you really to an extent, it determines as you go higher, because it influences the course you're going to study in your tertiary level. So if perhaps a lot of awareness, right, has been made towards the beauty of technology, towards computing, exposing people that, okay, so this is a large number of areas. So that way, these issues will be coped to an extent. But let's say that by chance, right, you go to tertiary institution. So I'll just say, like I said, the starting point where the problem is from the family. We as individuals, we as people that will have our own family, or people that already have their own family, it's very, very paramount that we expose our little ones, to different areas and make them realize that there is no area that is for a particular gender. It can be anyone. Which do you like? Exposure. Some, I know, like I said, I wasn't even aware of what computer science actually entailed. I had no idea. All for me was, I have to be the medical doctor in my family. It was as simple as that.
All right, thank you so much, Feyisewa. That was really enlightening. So like you said, the awareness or the lack thereof actually starts from the family. So we need to be very, very intentional about creating awareness right from the family level. Okay, so now since we're talking about our topic is women in tech, awareness, career building, and leadership. So now we've addressed the problem that we think we have in awareness. Now, using you as a type of example or prototype, after you now came into the industry as a software engineer, what are the major problems that you faced? What are the major problems? Just highlight and just give us, some real life experience. I really want to hear some stories.
All right. So the major when I got into right the whole environment of software engineering, the major problem I had was not having a mentor, a role model, a support system, basically. Because even when I get into issues, right, there's really nobody to turn to. Like, oh, have you had this? Fine, I had my colleagues to run to, right? But there are some scenarios whereby you just want to figure it out yourself, right? Or maybe you don't really want your colleagues to be involved. So having a support system, like for example, there are so many groups right now, that actually foster and promote women in tech and all that, like CodeNest Africa, women in tech, women with codes, having such groups where you could run to and say, oh, hi guys, I've kind of like faced this problem, right? Anybody that has faced this, and then you do it, and then you come back to the office and feel like a badu, like, I did it too. That kind of a thing. Yeah. So not having a support system was a major problem for me. Two, another problem I would say was initially being the only female in the whole environment. Yeah, there are times it gets to me. So initially when I joined some like SBSC, we were two, but then later the other lady left, so I became the only one, right? So yeah, sometimes it can just be as a woman. Sometimes you can just be in your element, and sometimes the men might not understand. But because you're the only one, if you start acting somehow, it seems like, what is wrong with this person? Why is this person behaving different from her? So one of the problem was having to behave more like a guy initially at the starting stage, like, I'm tough, I don't care, to be able to
Wow.
roll and to be able to roll and flow, with the team. You don't want to be the odd one out in the team. As much as you're a woman, you want to make it clear that, that I'm a woman shouldn't affect, right, how the whole work is going on. So yeah, so that was also a major. And three, not knowing the right sources I could go to for learning. This was also a major problem. Sometimes you can be willing, but because you're not aware of how do I even start. So I remember when I had to pick up a new language, that was also a major problem. Like, what resources, when you go online, YouTube, so many, some are going to waste your time, some are going to help you effectively. But the question was, where do I start from? How do I move? Exactly, So those were some of the major challenges I had. And the major challenge I had was the whole, oh, she's a lady, maybe that's why she's getting this treatment. I guess sometimes it's just natural when you're a bit unique and different from every other person. If some things are done for you to look like, oh, is it because she's female? Maybe that's why she got it. So those were some of the challenges, and and sometimes she said, well, don't let us give her, don't let us stress her. So that way,
Yes.
applying your leadership role, yeah. So those are some of the challenges.
So when you do well, the first reference point is not, oh, maybe she's actually smart. They say, oh, she's because she's a lady. And maybe when you get a bonus or something that you did, the first reference point is a lady.
Yeah.
So I quite understand. Thank you so much for that. So let's move to leadership. I'm sure that you've spent 4 years, so you definitely have some junior software engineers, at the entry level that you've had to lead. So how has that been? Being in a position of leadership, having to lead, maybe male or female, will you say that there are some things that you've gone through? I'm talking about not so good experience that you've gone through, that you believe that if you're a man, people will not have treated you like this.
Yes, I've had a few, but though thankfully most of the people I've been working to, even the ones that like I said, are like junior to me, they've been okay. But yes, there are scenarios that such as happened, like for example, because you're female, sometimes and maybe it's like a group of guys, though they are a bit junior to you, or some can even actually be on the same level, but you actually have the chance to be the one to lead that project. Initially, sometimes there is a test of your confidence level, and there's also a test of you getting them to actually listen to you. You don't want to put the position in their face, That's the first thing. Two, you also want to be, as I won't use the word friendly, like you guys want to flow to an extent, but there are situations whereby you actually need to put down your feet and say, guys, I'm not here to joke, and don't look at me because I'm a woman, or because if we're now some men if they got somewhere the way they will maybe frown their face like fellow guy to guy now,
Yeah.
we clear them sharp sharp. So there are scenarios where I also need to clear them sharp sharp, like guy, they think I know they here to joke.
I'll get to get the job done.
Exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
there are scenarios like that.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, I mean, if a guy is probably 50% assertive to get a project done, as a woman, you probably have to double your assertiveness so that they can know that
Exactly.
I'm really not here to joke. I quite understand. Thank you so much for that. Okay. All right. Now we spoke about your personal life. Now we're going to broaden the spectrum and like move to, women, ladies, girls actually, because it starts from the family, like you said, girls in tech. You understand? I know you've mentioned the fact that, the awareness or the lack thereof starts from the family. I also want you to, if there's anyone here that has a sister or that, is going to be a mother or a father someday or a boss, you understand? What would you advise? What would you advise that they do to kind of what would you advise they do to kind of, create more awareness and allow more women, more girls, more ladies be interested in tech? What would you advise?
Okay, so I would number one, like I said, having, for example, let's say you have a family, right, and you have little ones. The first step is exposure, raising awareness. So nowadays, as a little child, thank God, yes, technology has really changed as compared to those days, right? But even as a that, I think focus is being shifted away from some things. You see kids watch cartoons so much, you see them. I mean, yeah, it's awesome, it's good. But while they're doing that, you could actually expose them to some softwares that still allows them, to watch those animations. Because, for example, now there are softwares that you could train your little child on, or you could just expose the child to it, and child will be able to create the animation that is actually watching on the TV. There's no how such a child, by the time they get to a particular level, will not be interested. We are not saying everybody should go and code. We're not saying everybody should be, but everybody should be technology inclined. Everybody should be able to do some little things on their, in some countries, building a website is like a common thing over there, because it's like a normal thing. Exactly. And that's the way you should get to. Another thing I would say is we as individuals that are going to become role models, right, to the generations coming behind and to the generations that are here. One, we also need to show a level of discipline. Quite a number of people, maybe I would say, lack in this area, because you need to be disciplined. To be honest, being a software engineer personally, it takes a lot of discipline, because there are scenarios whereby you're not going to get it, because your job actually is solving problems every day. That is what you do. And there'll be situations where those problems will look like mountains and you won't be able to surmount them. If you're not disciplined, you're going to get frustrated. If you're not disciplined, you're going to leave the job and you're going to go and do something else entirely. So discipline, determination as individuals, such that the people that are watching you are able to see all these traits and are able to inculcate it. Another thing is vision. Quite a number of people, when we get to a particular level, we get comfortable in that zone, and then when we think of maybe scaling higher, we see the difficulties, the stress that is involved, and then a lot of people just sit back and just stay in that position. Vision, okay, for me actually, when I started out, yes, I had little or no experience, but basically it was for me like, okay, after a year, I want to be here. After this, I want to be here. What does it take for me to get to this level? What do I do to get to this? Okay, I want to be a senior. I want to be intermediate. I want to be this. I want to be that. Are you giving yourself, like a span to actually learn this thing? So there's no how somebody that is watching you to an extent is not going to be motivated. Like, oh, and because success alone attracts a lot of people to you. It's as simple as that. And so once you're successful, you have quite a number of people that are looking at you and kind of like following in your footsteps. So a lot of people need to inculcate this habit, um parents or wardens or whatever guidance should please also give chance. For example, I had a little issue while growing up when I wanted to do my IT. I wanted to come to Lagos to do my, because then we didn't live in Lagos State, but I got IT into some where I was going to learn so much. But my parents were totally against it. They said no, ordinary IT. What's gonna be stressing yourself? You want to start living with people you don't know, parents, wardens need to allow these younger ones, people that are ready to learn, give them the chance, provide the resources as much as possible if they have it, and grant it onto them. Yes, so these are areas whereby we can encourage moving forward. Yeah.
All right, all right. I mean, what jumped out for me there is, as a guardian, as a parent, as a child, anybody, let tech be an option for girls. Basically, let it be an
Exactly.
option. Let it be an option. We're not saying that every girl is going to code, but we're saying that let it be an option. There are some families that they don't even want to hear it. Just be a nurse or a teacher. What do women do again? Journalist.
With science and technology.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that the success, the rate of success stories that we've seen among women that code, the founders of Piggyverse are women. There's
Yeah.
a particular person, Ire, she was featured. I don't even know her. I think she's
Yeah.
now with Google, so I don't even know, but she's one of the best out there too. These are Nigerian women that are really doing amazing things, and it really
Yeah.
motivates me. So thank you so much, Faye. All right, anybody that has the questions can now start dropping them in the chat box. Okay. Okay, there's something about having a role model, and someone that can mention your name. The more women, because I was doing a personal research before we invited you, and I saw that tech companies that have at least one woman in their board of directors, they're just 20% of in the whole world, just 20%. And you know that the more women we have in leadership, the more women that will be recommended for more leadership positions. Because as a woman, you will want to nominate or sponsor another woman to get to where you are. So I want to just ask you that moving forward, you understand, what can we do to ensure that even if it's not enough? Sorry, Salami, I know. Can you kindly mute yourself? All right. So sorry about that. So because it's not enough for now, we've gotten them aware. It's not enough for them to just come in. They also need mentors while they are migrating into tech, and they need mentors when they eventually get into tech. So I want to just ask you, what would be an advice for anyone out there that's listening now or is probably listening as a leader in tech? What can you do to ensure that more women are interested in tech?
So thank you for that very good question. I think the first thing should be um, encouraging and making yourself available. To be honest, I've been a mentor on quite a number of platforms like the 3.0 and Della Google training mobile web developer series. Yes, I was a mentor on it. I was, as much as I tried to make myself available, yes, because of work and all that, sometimes I am not so available. Yeah, so I think what I would just put out there is, as a mentor, try as much as possible to be available to these ones, because I remembered even quite a number of people maybe that I referred, like, oh, chat this person up, right? Because sometimes you can't do everything on your own. You need to, chat this one. Then if you give me feedback like, oh, the person is not responding, takes like 2 days to reply to me. For somebody that is still trying to get their feet and then they are getting such kind of responses, they'll be discouraged, and some can decide to go back to whatever they were coming for. At least they are comfortable and their confidence is there. So what I would advise people that are mentors, people are looking at this, try as much as possible to create that time for people that are actually reaching out to you, to use your influence, when you have the chance to bring in more women, more people into this space, especially women, because that is what we are really focusing on, right? Use your influence to train them, because as much as possible, we don't want it to look like it's because, oh, we want women to be in tech, that's why they're employing them, like, oh, this lady is actually not as good as this guy, and they both went for the same interview, you know, and like it's because she's no, we don't want that. But as much as possible, we want to be able to influence these people to get better. We want to be able to influence people, women to, you know, to be the best, because that's another thing, that's another major area, you know. A lot of women are afraid to speak up. A lot of women are, they're not so confident, you know. They're afraid to tell you that this is what I want, this is how I want to be. So as mentors, as people that provide support to people, we want to be able to preach these messages to women that, girl, you can be, girl, you can be the best. And also, as much as possible, when we have the chances to have resources, provide these resources to women. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Feyisewa. It's been really, really amazing hearing from you. I don't know if there's any other thing that we've not mentioned, but you have on your mind and you just want to talk about in some few seconds. Say anything.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would actually like to talk about you know, when you get into that space as a woman, how do you behave? You know, as much as yes, you're trying to prove that there's no difference between us, I can do it. It's actually very natural that, you know, we the way we women naturally behave is different from the way men behave. It's just the way God has done it. But there has to be some way whereby you have to comfort yourself. So that's just what I really want to quickly talk about. As a woman, when you get into that tech space whereby it's dominated by more men, number one, you have to ensure that you're able to communicate effectively. See, to be honest, I've seen scenarios whereby some organizations don't want to employ because they feel like if this woman should come into this place, there's going to be trouble. You know, she can start acting up. That's the reason. For example, my sister is an electrical engineer. Um, Before getting into that space, too, is really dominated by men. And one of the major things they were looking out for was what is it that when you get into this field, right, you start issues start coming up, you know, with the men, or you start using your girl power over them. So yeah, so that's what women have to learn to be able to cohabit effectively, even when you're angry. Even, you know, when women are angry, they can just they can talk anyhow. And yes, you don't want to do that, because it's like if this person were to be a guy, this person is going to call me and then they're going to talk about it one-on-one. Yeah, so you want to ensure that you have good collaborative work effort with your colleagues that are guys. You want to be able to flow with them easy. You don't need to be a tomboy to be able to pass your message. You can be your feminine, beautiful lady, and, you know, still pass out. Also, women should learn to speak up. As in, I think that's has also been something I really learned. Don't get intimidated by the male or just thing all around you. A woman that is confident, a woman that is strong, a woman that is bold, I tell you, you're gonna go as in so far, because there's beauty in it. Yes, let me use that word. There's also let us always put ourselves in the leadership position, because if you don't put yourself in a leadership position and you're always at the back, you know, you don't want them to see you, there's no how you're going to get to such level, and there's no how you're going to grow, because they won't see you because you're not putting yourself there. So take the lead, be assertive, say what you want. This is what I want. If you feel you're being treated biasly, unjustly, there's a way you can communicate it to the management. Yes, and
Yeah.
so those are just things I want to have.
All right. Thank you so much. So, any woman out there listening to me, we have so many of them on this calls. Go for that leadership role. Don't say, "Oh, he's a man that has been doing it." I want to share personal
Exactly.
experience. When I was in school and we were going to go for a post, and like no woman has ever been in that post, and people really, really said, "You can't do it. A man has never done it." I said, "It's because a woman has never done it." I said, "Because a woman has never done it, that's much more motivation for me to actually step into that role." So as a woman, ordinarily the society won't offer you that role, so you have to
Yeah.
actually take it. You have to take it. You have to, lead that team, take presentation, nominate yourself. Actually, there's nothing bad about that. You can be your feminine self and still stand out. So thank you so much. I have a question from someone here already, moving
Okay.
towards the end of the webinar. Please, if anyone has any other question, let's just drop it in the in-call message. So Rukayat CD saying, good evening. Yeah, good evening to you too, Rukayat. I'm talking about women in tech. Can a woman of 31 years old of age excel in tech. It might not be coding, but other aspects like UI, UX, networking. So kindly answer that
Um,
for.
yes. There's no age limit to tech. Technology is so dynamic and it's so wide that it actually takes in everybody. And there's no time whereby you can.
Okay. I think our network has gone off again. Um, is everyone still hearing me?
Hello, I
Yes, I
can
can
hear
hear you. Can
you.
you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Fisher, I can continue. Thank you, Olabisi.
Yes. So, like I said, there's no time whereby any woman cannot transition into the space of tech because it's so wide. It takes in everybody, and there's never a late time. Is a yes. Like you said, not necessary. We have so many UI UX, project manager, management, QA analyst. There's so many areas. Yeah. So there's no time you can't. Just go for it, and you see yourself
All
excelling
right.
in it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Faye. It's been amazing hearing you speak. I'm motivated to. Thank you so much. The amazing
Yeah.
thing about this type of event is that as a moderator, you also get to learn from a lot of people. So thank you so much. So my boss is also here, the CEO of CodeNest Africa, Temidayo Adefi. Boss, I don't know if you have anything to say or to ask or to, yeah.
Hi. Hi everybody.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I think there's a question on the chat box. I'm not sure. Can you find out?
Okay. It just came in now. Okay, so Tijesu says, great job, guys. Thank you so much, Tijesu. He says he's not a woman though, but his wife entered into tech via the data science route in 2019. Both of them will be 34 in September. She's currently on an internship, paid internship. Okay, so I think he's just sharing his personal experience to motivate Rukayat, that is asking about a woman of 31 going into tech. So Rukayat, Tijesu is telling us that his wife, just came into tech and they're in their 30s. So there is no age limit. As long as you can dedicate the time and you have the willingness to do it, there is no age limit in technology. All right. Thank you so much, Tijesu, for that amazing story. Okay, Faye, I think your video is now off, but I will just allow my boss speak now. All right, sir, I think we can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Hi, Faye.
Hi, Temidayo.
Oh, yeah. It's good to have you on the call. Thank you so much for that insightful session. Much appreciated. Shay
Thank you
and I
too.
have been friends for a couple of years now, and she's an amazing person in tech space. She's done a lot of incredible stuff, and I know that there are so many interesting projects that she has taken up herself. Well, don't mind that. Sometimes if you hear, if you speak, you'll be wondering that is this person a man or woman? I know that. I know that. But then, thank you so much for this time. For every woman on this call, I number one, I respect women a lot in terms of especially in the tech space. When I hear that somebody's actually going into tech, it's just amazing to hear that, because there's just dominated by men and all of that. So if you're a woman and you have like an idea or you want to go into tech space, there's no need for you to start contemplating that, well, do I need to do this? I'm scared, or I don't have the support system. Just get started with it. There are a lot of resources. Well, of course, we have materials for whoever wants to start coding. And then technology is not about coding alone. There are other fields that you can explore in the tech space. We have project management, we have UI UX, there's data analysis, data analyst. different roles. There's QA, that's quality assurance, if you don't want to be a programmer. So you, as a tech person, as a woman, you can choose not to be a programmer and then just go for other roles that you feel that, oh, works for you at this time, considering your maybe your schedule and all of that. So that's what I want to share with every single woman here on the call today. And then we're rooting for you at CodeNest. So just do it.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Glad it's over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, before we go, please, I just want to just talk to everybody about what we actually do at CodeNest Africa. Actually, we'll be launching a series of like short-term courses that do not exactly involve coding. And I believe that, if there's anybody out there, this is the time for you to just key into it. If there's anything like that, we'll be launching it, and just be on the lookout. We'll definitely let you know when it is out. But there are a lot of things that Feyi mentioned. Number one is the fact that the way the internet is structured nowadays, there really isn't a place where you can go and you get everything you need. Like she said, she watched a lot of materials, a lot of videos. Some of them ended up not being useful. And the amazing thing about what we do at CodeNest Africa is we have a structured curriculum that has been put together by people that are actually experts, people that have spent, more than 5 years in the industry, and they know what you need and what you do not need. And it's one of the things we have at CodeNest School. At the academy here, we also have not just instructors that's so much ready to give you the best in the class. We also have mentors outside your classroom, mentors that you can reach out to. We even have some of our ex-students here on the call. I can see Sarah came in with zero to little knowledge of software engineering, and now she's a software engineer, gainfully employed, doing so amazingly well. I think I saw Simi on the call too. She's also, a Flutter developer. A lot of our students like that are doing really, really well in life. So the website is www.codenest.ng. Whenever you're ready, we are also ready for you guys. Don't postpone it. Age is no longer a barrier. Distance is definitely no longer a barrier. The way the world has changed now, we've been able to know that you don't have to enter Lagos traffic to learn whatever you want to learn. So from the comfort of your home, you can be the best you want to be. So age is not a barrier. Like I said, distance is not a barrier. Gender is definitely not a barrier. Women in tech are now doing so well. So guys, Feromi I know asked, how do we get the material? So the recording will be uploaded to our official YouTube page, and I will definitely send the link to everybody's mailing box so that you can just easily go back and just get some things that you need there. And so Feyisewa's name is also Feyisewa Salami. I'll send the link to our LinkedIn. So in case you maybe want to reach out to her for some questions, I'm sure that Feyisewa will be leading, and she'll be willing to help you out whatever way she can. And she also mentioned the fact that there are so many communities out there for women, women in tech. She codes Africa. Join these communities, reach out to people, you understand, network, you understand. You need mentors. You need people that have worked on the path that you've worked on. They know what to avoid. They know what not to avoid. They know how long to be on something. Do you understand? So reach out to people. Shoot your shots. Shooting your shot is not only about relationship. Shoot your shot in opportunities. Go for internships and be the best you can be. You understand? So Africa is the future. In tech, in any industry, Africa is the future, and we can be the best. All right, guys, I want to say thank you so much to everyone for joining this call. We're going to have an amazing session next month. And let me just leak this. The next session is going to be about landing your first tech job. So I'm sure that a lot of us will be there. So, all right, Feyisewa is raising her hands. I think she wants to say something. All right.
Yes. Thank you so much for this beautiful platform to be able to share my story and be able to be a part of. But just one last time, that will look like we need to appreciate the men also. As much as yes, we are encouraging women in tech. The men that we've met there, if some of them were not so open-minded, right, it would still be so clustered up. At least as of now, we have quite a number of women as compared. So yes, we appreciate you guys Thank you so much for always being there to help us at any point in time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you to the men, to my boss too, because he's a
You're
man.
welcome.
So
You're
please.
welcome.
I
Finally,
knew
somebody
you were
can
going
say
to
something.
unmute yourself.
Finally, somebody
I
will say
knew
something.
it. So we need more of you. We need all hands on deck. It's not a woman issue alone. It's for everybody. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this call. We hope to see you during the next fireside chat. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye,
guys. Bye.
everybody. Thank you, guys.